Open Road.
The Country Music Podcast with Joey and Si.
Let's hit the road and enjoy today's episode. I was going to say good evening. Good evening? Yeah, let's say good evening. Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of The Open Road with Joey and Si. Thank you to everyone who tuned into episode. I forgot what I was going to say there for a while. Thank you to everyone who tuned into episode.
We'll cut this bit out.
No, it'll be fine. Thank you to everyone who tuned into episode 1 and gave us a listen. I know there's been clips circulating. Appreciate everyone giving us a follow on the old social media. We're back for another episode after quite an eventful week. Lots to dilute and talk about this week. I'm sure everybody's not been living in a cave and has seen the news across social media with certain festivals and certain dropouts, and we'll come to that a little bit later on then. But before we get there, what have we been doing this week? I know what I've been doing. What have you been doing this week, Joe?
Yeah, we've got a fair bit to get through for episode 2. Last weekend from this is going out on the 10th, I think, Monday the 10th. Catch Your Mind's back about a weekend or so ago to the start of August. Mr. Luke Combs doing his UK leg of his tour.
Quite a niche artist. I don't know whether many people have heard of him.
Well, I hope so, because he's now got a Guinness World Record for 3 consecutive sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium, which apparently is the most that anyone's done. It's the record, so it's quite nice to be a part of the record. We had a good time. Yeah. There was a few of us who came down there. Me and my partner Ashley, some friends of ours. Upset Mr. Stephen Ramshaw last time, who you are very familiar with, Si, being a fellow Geordie. I know you don't really like him that much, but people will know who he is.
He's a good lad. I like him. He's a good lad.
He is. He was a little bit upset I didn't give him a shout out last episode because I thought that I did. So I told him that I did.
Well, the funny thing is actually thinking back, we did talk about him, but not by name, because we were on about when we met at the
Co-Wetzel gig, wasn't it?
Co-Wetzel gig, and he was the instigator of all that. So it probably is worth a
He was. He's the reason that we met, and I thought I'd mention that, but I hadn't. So sorry, mate.
No.
Anyway,
Luke Combs.
Back to Luke Combs. Wembley, 1st of August. And my top highlight from that gig, believe it or not, wasn't actually any of the songs.
I know what you're going to say now.
So, on Friday night, we had, basically, when Luke was singing One Too Many, he would bring out a guest to basically shotgun a beer with him. And Friday night, it was John Terry, captain, leader, legend, big Chelsea fan over here.
Questionable legend and leader. He was a captain, let's call it.
Mate, he shagged Wayne Bridges' wife. Like, what more about a leader can you ask for?
I saw the video on social and no one was enjoying that except for John Terry.
Well, imagine Wayne Bridge wasn't. We don't condone that sort of behaviour on this podcast. But anyway, so I thought, Saturday night, who's he going to be able to get out? Caleb friggin' Cooper came out on stage from Clarkson's Farm. Mate, I looked at Ashley and I just screamed like a little girl. Honestly, I was so happy. I love Caleb to bits. I think he's a top bloke, and the fact that he'd completed like a harvest the day before and then was travelling to London to be at that gig, it was brilliant.
No, I do enjoy Clarkson Farm, and I do like Caleb Cooper, so I'll give you that one.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Did you actually enjoy any of the songs you want to share, or was it just him beering with Caleb?
Yeah, so obviously we'd have to talk about the songs because we paid a lot of money for tickets, and that'd be a little bit bad if I didn't actually go and enjoy the songs. But my favourite song of that night, though, now, don't get me wrong, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, top song. Absolutely top song. Loved it to bits. Loved watching him perform it. I thought it was brilliant. The pyrotechnics, fireworks, all this sort of stuff made it just hit. But my wild card a little bit, because I don't actually like this song very much. I don't hate it. I'm not hating on Luke Combs or anything like that. It's just not one of my personal favourites. But the way that he performed it at Wembley, it hit. And it hit hard. And I was like, this is awesome. And that was actually Ordinary. No, I don't think he did it on the Friday night.
The song, but yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think it would be my favourite.
Yeah. I mean, he's got so many top songs, Out Where the Wild Things Are, One Number Away, When It Rains It Pours. But he didn't actually do Ordinary on the Friday. And I don't know if he did it on the Sunday.
Oh, so it might have been one of the unique... Because I know they sometimes do that, don't they? Where they do a few nights and mix up the song selection.
Yeah, so he definitely did mix up the set list every night, I believe. And from what I've seen on social media as well, it did look like that. Yeah. So, yeah, that was basically our Saturday. Really enjoyed it, proper. The only downside I had about the gig, though, and this isn't a Luke Combs thing. I think this is a Wembley thing. Because we went to see My Chemical Romance last month, and there was a bit of a similar sort of thing with it. But when an artist is talking at Wembley, you can't really hear them. There's so much echo, and it's so difficult.
I think it's a bit of a stadium thing, isn't it? Like that's and it's a shame because country artists do a lot of that storytelling, and I wrote this song when X Y Z, and so it maybe has more of an impact at a country gig when you can't hear them. Yeah,
it does, and. That's such a downside because, like you said, country music is so much about storytelling. And also, I know we're a country podcast, but even when we saw My Chemical Romance, their whole first sort of like half was going through the Black Parade album, and they were making a story of it. So they were telling actual parts of stories, and there was a lot of vocal stuff in there. When you can't hear what they're saying, it makes it 10 times harder. Yeah. So. Yeah. But no, overall, absolutely loved it. I saw people going three nights in a row, and I'm thinking fair play. Like it was definitely one of those which I think you could go 3 nights in a row and not get bored of it. But man, I want that sort of bank balance so I can afford to go 3 days in a row to Luke Combs in Wembley. Nice. Like wow. Yeah. But Si, tell us what have you been up to?
My week was a bit less grandeur than yours. No Wembley Stadium, no Luke Combs. However, I had a trip. What day are we on today? Thursday night into Manchester to a lovely little venue called Band on the Wall. I'm sure many people will have been there for gigs to see. Personally, for me, I enjoyed this more than I would have enjoyed Luke Combs. Love Luke Combs, but Everett for me is up there. Was one of my faves. And it was incredible. He's got that sort of swampy, gritty southern energy about him, and it was such a good show. A good friend of ours, Mr. Gary Quinn, in support as well. Brilliant. And I've shared this with you before. I've never been to a Gary Quinn gig and just went, yeah. It's just one of those, I can listen to his songs again and again because he's just got that presence and there's so much meaning behind them. He was a great support, obviously a massive staple of the UK country scene, but then Everett was phenomenal. Yeah. He literally just him and a guitarist, that was it. And he just filled the room with it. Highlight for me was halfway through, he got down into the crowd, unplugged, and got everyone to circle round him like a campfire and just played a couple of the songs totally unplugged. And it was, I got the camera and I was literally like here to here, just stood there, and he was like kept turning round and really like playing into the camera, so I got some great footage.
Amazing.
But I love all of his songs, but it was just a great night.
One stand out for you?
Well, the shout out to me was because he's just released this last week a new single called Settling Down, and the whole single is focused around how he's given up this wild, youth lifestyle, and he's now settling down. He's got kids, he's settled down, let's call it. And that was kind of quite an emotional song. You could see as he was singing it how much he'd put into it. Whereas like some of his other ones are about drinking whiskey and getting arrested and stuff. So it had like a very like sliding doors type of feel when he did songs like that. But amazing, the nicest guy. He come down at the end and he was, getting pictures, meeting everybody. And I know that one of our mutual friends went out till 3 a.m. drinking with him and Gary as well.
Yes,
so
I saw that the next day.
Yeah, that was just the kind of guy he was. He was really down to earth, really, really nice guy. That was my week. And
that's brilliant.
I think
and to
before
be fair,
we jump on,
I've got to say, just before we move on to the next bit, obviously after your one for the road last week, I wasn't the hugest. I hadn't really heard a lot of Everett before, but I thought, after last week's pod, I was like, yeah, I'll give him a listen. Kings of Dairy Queen Park, and I know you played it for me when we edited the last episode, but mate, honestly, I was chucking it on in the van on the way to work, and wow, I think I've actually I've turned.
You're a convert.
Yeah, I've converted Everett. Fantastic. That's gonna be, for when my Apple Music comes up with your top artist this month for August, it's going to be Everett. I just know it is.
Yes, that is what we want to see.
But if people might have seen on socials, obviously you put a few bits out on our stories as well, and thanks for doing that. And Gary as well, the videos you took of Gary, wow. It looks amazing. It looks incredible. He's a cracking
guy, Gary, and well,
he is.
my takeaway was the old G Quinn hat.
Love it.
That will be getting repped now at the gigs as well. So keep an eye out for that.
And the pod as well. That's a little bit of one on the horizon, isn't it? We got in the pipeline. So, but
I think before we move on, did you have a bit of a?
I do, and I've got a bit of a surprise for you.
The floor is yours.
The problem is, obviously, I've got a bit of a different setup around me for today's episode. For the audio listeners, basically, I've moved my setup downstairs for this episode because of some technical problems. But I was watching the podcast last time and I realised, do you know what? I've got a very, very bland background. Okay. Now, I've got a lovely white envelope here. And I have opened it because I saw it come through the door. I was like, what the fuck is that? So, I'm going to show you, though, what I've gone and got for the background. We have got an open road. Little plaque sort of thing.
I wasn't sure what it was.
Photo tile. Yeah, so I'll see if I can. There's just going to be so much rustling now, I just know. So
we can just turn it into an ASMR video here.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh no, that is cool, man.
Little photo tile for the long road. So for the open road, not the long road. Do you know what? I just know what the next section is. I'm just desperate to get there. So got one of those.
You'll have to find a more permanent room to do the podcasting.
Yes.
Get that up. There we go, yeah.
I can't really... I haven't got anywhere to bloody stand up against. So we'll...
let's sit there. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There we are, look at that.
Nab.
Brilliant. You watch me now, just like all episode. I'm just going to move over and cover it. But, so that's my little surprise. The little...
I like it.
Open road photo tile.
Like for one of the many walls around here. Maybe up on this shelf here. I could just...
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, moving on.
Long road. So,
long road.
Bit of a slip of the tongue there.
Yeah. Where to start?
Yeah. I think the biggest talking point we need to address first of all is, obviously we put the clip out about it, but and a lot of stuff on social, but Bailey Zimmerman, unfortunately, due to some family problems, has dropped out of Long Road. Everything is okay. I think he just needs some time with family, so hopefully, he's okay.
I think that was, on that straight away, the thing that got me on a lot of social was the hate going out.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to somebody today about it, and I just said, the thing is, you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Yeah.
And for people to be really calling him out, oh, it's shocking he did this, give the guy a break. I just think, all of us, can you imagine if we had to go over to America for a few months, not see children, family, especially if, things were not perfect at home. So, I've got a lot of sympathy.
It's... I don't like seeing hate when artists get it, because they do so much for us, okay? But the other thing is, Bailey wasn't... it wasn't that long ago since he was here. You said it on the last episode that you went to see him.
I met him actually outside. I got a selfie with him. Yeah, I
Brilliant.
can't remember if I've ever sent you that. I might have to find that. Yeah.
No, I don't think you did. But the thing is, as well, you don't want to see artists getting that sort of hate. And
no,
he's only young. He's 26. He's practically the same age as me. There's a few months between us, about 6 months between us. But
very different lifestyles.
I know. But you never know. Maybe if this pod takes off, we might do a travelling pod. How cool would that be if we went over to Nashville and recorded a live pod, man? That would be awesome. But yeah, so he's only young. He's 26, and he's got this stuff going on. So hopefully he's fine. I will clear it up. We did not do any sort of like voodoo magic or anything like that. After we spoke about that, we didn't have any sort of dolls. So. Don't.
Well, I mean, we've spoke about Bailey. I suppose the obvious next thing is what about his replacement?
Sai, I'll let you have this one, mate. His replacement,
now,
Ronnie Wood.
From a country music perspective, yes, it's not a country music artist, but from a fan of music, this guy is a fucking legend. He's spent decades with the Faces, with the Rolling Stones. He's a massive influence with blues, with roots music, with Americana. The guy fits the bill. And I'm sick of seeing all this. Ronnie Wood, what a shit replacement. It's not at all. I think it's a strong replacement. And personally, as a music fan, Saturday night at the Long Road Festival, him belting out I Can't Get No Satisfaction, or some of the classic. That's going to be a mega atmosphere. That is going to be great.
I think for me, don't get me wrong, I am on that bandwagon of the people who are slightly disappointed. Okay, I'm not going out there and saying it's the worst thing in the world. Okay, I am disappointed. I think there were other artists. I know for a fact that Breland was commenting on those posts saying, "Hey, look, I'm available." When it was announced Ronnie Wood, there's a lot of people saying, well, what about Breland? Even he commented back saying, look, I tried, just wasn't meant to be this time. So, it'd be interesting, obviously, we'll never see, but what happened behind those scenes.
Well, this is it, you don't know. I mean, Breland might have come in with, I want this much money, and they went, you can't have that much money, and so it was never going to happen.
Exactly.
But no, I think, as a country fan, yes, it's not a big country art. Billy Zimmerman is current pop country. It is not that. But as a music fan at a music festival, I think it is a super strong replacement. And I, for one, will be there with bells on, enjoying Saturday night. If those people who think it's a shit replacement, bugger off, go and watch something else then. In my opinion. That's where I'm at on it. I just think it's a festival. You pay for entry to the festival. You don't pay for artists. And people drop out. Things change. Don't get me wrong. We could be on the way there. One of the acts could get hit by a bus. They're not going to be playing at the festival, are they?
Mate.
But no, I just mean there's to start making a big thing of I want a refund because one act cancelled is nonsense.
Yeah. And our next talking point, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to lift up the mood much.
Well, I was going to say you can have this one because I know you've got some strong opinions on it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of issues surrounding Long Road this year, as we know, with the artists and whatnot, but also with the vendors. So one of the biggest things, Vera Black have come out and said that they're not going to be at Long Road this year, and they've been there since day one, So I think from what I can gather with the social media posts, I think it is to do with finances I think Long Road are going to be charging them too much, and they're a bit like, we need to make that business decision of, is this worth it?
Yeah.
That's what I've gathered from it. I could be completely wrong.
We don't know, do we? That's speculation.
But
I think one sponsor in particular, or one vendor that you were not so jazzed about.
Yeah, so obviously we're recording this Saturday. Yesterday on Friday, the announcement did come out that Rizla is going to be at Long Road. And if people aren't aware of Rizla, they're there's do with all like the smoking, sort of like, I don't know, how would you describe them? Like, you know, the smoking.
I would say a brand in the
brand, yeah,
because
that's
they do
it.
like the Rizla papers, isn't it? That's the big
and
shindig for them.
Don't get me wrong, I used to smoke a few years ago, and I used to use Rizlas, you know. So, but now I don't. And a family-friendly festival, I don't think should be promoting a smoking brand. I know you've got your own opinions of, you know, smoking brands. What was it you said? Smoking brands give you the best free merch, wasn't it?
I will put it out there, and I'll just say, I worked abroad for a lot of years, and we had a lot of sponsors that were smoking brands.
Yeah.
You know, B&H, you know, various others, but that was the one that comes to mind. They give away pretty cool merch, like T-shirts, you know, flags. There's all kinds of like really just cool shit they come out with, and I know it's a bit of a silly thing, but that's not my only opinion. But carry on. You know, tell me why it's why is it going to make you lose sleep at night?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far of lose sleep. I think the losing sleep would probably just come from, depends how hot it is in that tent, to be honest. But no, I think a family-friendly festival, they're trying to promote this as a family-friendly festival. I think there's a lot of people where in 2026 that we shouldn't. I think times have changed now. We shouldn't really be promoting smoking. You know, the government, they are trying to do a lot with stopping kids from smoking and vaping and stuff like that. Whereas, without trying to get too political, because on this podcast we don't want to be political.
I get where you're coming from.
I feel like it wasn't the most sensible decision, if that makes sense.
I mean, my view on it is festivals cost money. Money has to come from somewhere. Sponsors bring in money. I just think if we go there and we go, what a great festival, it was really well run, that money could have been coming from Rizla. I'm sure they're not going to be promoting smoking, because I'm pretty sure you can't do that. But it's more brand, I suppose. If you think about the very traditional, like, country feel, whiskey, cigarettes, that kind of thing, people will be smoking like roll-ups, and that's probably, it's within that vibe. I'm not a smoker. If people are smoking around me, I'm not a fan. But sponsors are sponsors. Like, you know, we could go back and say we're both big football fans. Do we agree with beers and energy drinks and gambling companies? But they've got to give our football teams the money to spend. My thought on this whole thing is, I know there's another country festival this weekend that you're very much looking forward to.
Yes. Yeah.
And with Rizla, with Ronnie Wood, with all this, I'm going to just put it out there and go, which festival have people been talking about this week? They say no press is bad press. People have been talking about Long Road, and is it a work of genius from their PR team?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't think you would need to announce Rizla as a sponsor. I think it could have just been there. Have they done it so people will talk about it because it's controversial? Maybe, maybe not. You know, either way, that's taken up 10, 15 minutes of our podcast because they've put some controversial shit out this week.
Absolutely. I do recommend,
on a lighter note.
Yeah, I do recommend, though, if anyone's got a spare 5 minutes, go to find that Rizla post on Facebook, because it's been taken down from Instagram. And
just read the comments.
Go and read the comments. Read the comments. Honestly, I've never seen it that bad before.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, this is just getting worse and worse now.
Yeah.
But, so...
No, but moving on, let's talk about some news this week. It's not Long Road news.
Not Long Road news, yes.
Country news. I mean, do you want to maybe kick things off with this? What have we been looking at in the news this week?
Well, honestly, my bit that I want to talk about, we're going across the pond now with... because there's not been loads and loads of UK news, but we've kind of covered it, to be honest, as well. So we'll take a trip over the pond. My big one that I want to talk about is Wyatt Flores' new album.
Yeah.
Scared of Heights is out, dropped last week. Wow. It's incredible. Like, I've not stopped listening to it. I'm probably on sort of like my 20th playthrough of it. I love it. I really love it. I was really one to warm up to Wyatt Flores. I didn't rate him when I first started listening to him a few years ago. Then he came over and did Long Road.
Yeah.
I didn't think he had much of a stage presence. I didn't particularly enjoy it as much. Now, a few years later, I'm probably one of his biggest fans. So yeah, I'm loving the Scared of Heights album. I think he's done a really, really good job in what he's come up with. Writing some of those songs. I know, listening to some of the interviews with him, he's in one day he wrote about 5.5 songs. He said.
I mean, that's some shift. That.
Yeah. He wrote one, I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but then he went on to write Running on E, and then it kind of just snowballed all from there. Yeah. And do you know what?
Have you got any faves on the album? Anything?
I do definitely have some favourites. One of my favourites off the album's a song called South Dakota, and the reason why I like South Dakota is the album itself is a bit of it goes through all those feels. It's a bit of a heartbreak album. He's writing at the time where he's going through a bit of heartbreak and, anxiety, mental health issues, that sort of thing. And what South Dakota really is about is when you go through all these breakups and you're in those sort of dark times and you feel, quite shitty, you've got a lot of anxiety and stuff around things. But then you kind of meet somebody and there's almost that light at the end of the tunnel sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So it's a really sort of upbeat, positive song. I really like it. It's quite catchy as well.
Yeah.
And it resonates with me a little bit. I kind of went through a bit of a crappy period of my life, bad relationships, breakups, whatnot. I then found my light at the end of the tunnel with Ashley, and celebrated 3 years this year, and that
be
song
the last
really
one when she
speaks.
finds out you've moved the orchid in the background, though.
You're trying to get me in trouble here. Yeah, I did say to you when I moved that before we started recording, she's going to see that I've moved this orchid from the centre, and I'll move it back. I will move it back.
That's why I brought it up.
But she will know that it's been moved before this pod goes out, I guarantee you. But
I suppose, speaking of the mental health, because I know Wyatt Flores cancelled C2C, was it the year before last?
Yes.
And then we obviously saw him at Long Road. I think I suppose the next topic to go on to with that is Jelly Roll taking a break from touring. I mean, I suppose to take lead on this one, he's been touring relentlessly, since he had all this big success in the crossover, and I think taking this step back kind of shows that he's taking physical mental health seriously.
Yeah.
I know he's he's split from his partner as well, hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah, so anyone who has lived under a rock the past month or so, I think it might come out in June, to be honest. But Jelly and Bunny XO have... so Jelly filed for divorce against Bunny XO. They had a big argument back in May, I think, and he essentially walked out the next day, had divorce papers through. So
I think I'd let the guy take a rest. He was...
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I saw him with Post Malone when he toured the UK, and I mean, he was great, but I think you need to think about yourself a little bit, and, sometimes you've been through divorce, you've been touring relentlessly, take some time off, rest, heal up a little bit, probably write some new material, Heartbreak. I'm sure there's some zingers in there for him to come out with some new stuff, and then, get back on the road after that if you want to still keep doing that.
Yeah, so I think he said that he's going to have maybe 1 or 2 years off just to heal. He needs it. It's, as a musician, touring is so difficult. You're away from home a lot. You're out on the road. You're not kind of living that proper lifestyle, and you're not at home. You're on a bus, or if you sort of in your really early days, you might not even have a bus. You might just be crashing in hotel rooms or in the back of a van. Hopefully, he'll come out of this stronger. I know they're still quite, they're okay with each other. I don't think it's been a horrible divorce. I think there is a lot of love between them still, but...
hopefully we'll hear from him soon, and I suppose in the meantime he's put out some bangers over the past couple of years, so there's plenty to keep us on the Jelly Roll front.
And I think the final bit is... obviously we spoke about Luke Combs earlier on, but there was... one of his support acts, Thomas Rhett, who we spoke about on the pod last episode, as that was my first ever gig in 2016. going up to Manchester. 11 years later, he's back. He's coming back April 2027.
Yeah.
Doing Glasgow, London, and Manchester. I think only 3 shows this time.
I mean, I think that's a normal tour, really, for some of the bigger artists.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely. Yeah.
They're not going to do a couple of dates in the UK. I think the only topic that I'm sort of like, is the price now. Like,
yeah.
Did you get tickets, you and Ash? Or?
No. I want to, but I think we're just going to leave it till closer to the time. I saw him last weekend. I'm content with that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't. But I mean, the price of
£50 is the cheapest tickets, and again, it might be different now, north to south. But I know up in Manchester, I mean that is a lot. Yeah,
50 quid is. I mean, I know it's the norm nowadays, but when you think about it, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's. Do you reckon that the price of tickets are just going to keep sort of like escalating, or do you reckon they'll start coming down? Or
the only thing that I suppose to throw this in is I know there was a lot of debate with the owner of Live Nation not that long ago, where he put a statement out that was a bit controversial, where he said gigs should be like experiences, like the Super Bowl. You pay a fortune to go to the Super Bowl in America, but it's an experience, and he reckoned gigs should be in the same thing as that, so that prices going up was justified. I don't agree.
No,
I think
no way.
There's a price, yes. If £52 is the going rate now, so be it. But I think if they continue going up, I think it prices real fans out of going. I'm a massive F1 fan. I'm a massive NFL fan. Yeah. I can't afford to go to Wembley now for the NFL games because it's a silly price. I can't afford to go to Silverstone, my home race, because I haven't won the lottery this last week. And it's obscene, like the price. If that is the direction that gigs are going, I worry for the attendance and what that looks like going forwards. I suppose only time will tell. We'll have to sort of probably revisit this as more tours start getting announced for next year and try and put a. But I suppose moving on to our main segment,
Dirt Road Debate.
Well, I suppose this is an interesting one that you've sent me this week. Now you sent me this literally an hour and a half ago. Might I add?
I did.
So I've had very limited time to prepare for this. So you can introduce the segment and you can go first.
So this week's Dirt Road Debate that I've got for your side, and I've kind of purposefully done this so you didn't have much time to think about it. Not just to catch up, but also to because I want your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
It came out, so I've got Taste the Country, Russell Dickinson. We love RD. Ain't no party like an RD party. I know you're a big fan. Ashley's a big fan. I'm getting there now. I think if she had the opportunity, Ashley would leave me for RD.
I'm pretty sure she would, yeah.
But yeah, I get that. Get it. But he named his most controversial.
Let's not call it controversial. Let's say his own, because controversial makes it sound like it's an issue. Like everyone's entitled to an opinion, and
absolutely,
I for one will listen to RD's opinion all day long because I think he's a cracking guy.
Yeah. So anyone who's not familiar with Mount Rushmore, it's a mountain somewhere in the States. I don't know where. I don't know much about it. But it's got the head of 4 presidents on it that they've had. Again, don't really know who's on it. I don't pay much attention to that. But it's quite an iconic thing anyway. People know what Mount Rushmore is. So this is what Russell Dickinson came up with as his. Number 1, Garth Brooks. Okay? Number 2,
I don't think anyone can argue with that as an inclusion.
Number 2, George Strait.
Same again, king of country, and for good reason.
Yeah. Then he said, this next one's a little bit controversial. Shania Twain.
I mean, when you sent me this, I can see where he's coming from. Because I think Shania Twain was big on, getting it into the mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah. And the final one was the one where there had to have a bit of a brief moment of thought from RD, because he was trying to juggle up between Tim McGraw and Keith Urban.
I mean, they're both good choices.
Both good choices. He did settle though on Tim McGraw, so that ended up being his Mount Rushmore of Garth Brooks, George Strait, Shania Twain, and Tim McGraw.
So what I would like to go in with this one then is, we've obviously both now got our own. Shall we eliminate any that sit with RD? Is there any of his 4 that you agree with and also sit on yours?
Do you know what? There is. Cause
right.
I would definitely say, obviously, George Strait has to be on there.
Well, okay. I'm with you on that one, so we can just cross that out straight away. George Strait, anything except for including George Strait is blasphemy in my eyes.
Right. On ours, we cannot have the same as.
I can tell you I haven't got the same as him. That's the only similarity I've got.
Give me your 4.
So mine sits like George Strait, king of country for a reason. Most number 1 songs in the charts of any artist within that genre. It's impossible to leave him off.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me. Now I've got 7. I haven't.
There's 4. You're allowed 4.
All right. I'm gonna stick with 4. So my second one, which I don't think, this is where I'll maybe disagree with RD on this. I'm putting Dolly on there.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think what she's done transcends country music a little bit. She's kind of a bit of a pop culture icon. I think she, heavily, people will like country because of 9 to 5, because of Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
What about your second one?
So, obviously, we're going to go with George Strait. I think we've kind of agreed. I know I said we'll choose different ones, but you can't overlook it.
I'm happy that we've agreed on that. Otherwise, we'd have been having a proper debate here if you'd have not put Strait on there.
Well, my second one, again, is a little bit not as out there as modern, but Mr. Johnny Cash, the man in black himself. And the reason being, I mean, he's an icon. He's an icon. A lot of sort of I've got a lot of time for his music. He was friends with, believe it or not, with my granddad because he was big into his country music. He used to go touring around America with bands and everything, and he actually knew both Dolly and Johnny Cash and spent a lot of time with them and were friends with them. So he's my second one. It's Johnny Cash.
Unfortunately, that's my third one.
Right, okay.
I'm a massive Johnny Cash fan. I've got on my tattoo here, I've got Johnny Cash lyrics on my country tattoo. The guy's a legend. I just think, again, what he did for just music in general was just game changing. The background he sort of grew up in to even be able to get into music was wild. And this is, again, that's where I sort of was like, with RD, I don't think you can leave the man in black off. I think he's...
Give me your 4th as well.
Well, no, because that means I want your 3rd now, and I'm hoping it's not going to be my 4th.
Alan Jackson is my 3rd.
He was in my 7, but he's not my 4th.
Fuck off. How have you not got him in your 4th?
When I say my 4th, you're going to go, shit, I forgot about him.
He is one of the most influential country artists. How do you not even consider?
He was in my 7 that I pulled out. And to be honest, this last one was between the guy I picked and Alan Jackson.
So is he 5th on the list then?
I would, 100%. I would put him 5th. I agree with you because, you look at 90s sort of neo-traditional, he was top tier. I just think for me, his cultural footprint, as we'll call it, doesn't hit the same level as my 4.
Right. Okay.
He's big, and as I say, he would be 5th. I think as a songwriter, he's elite as well.
Oh yeah,
I get that. I'll give you your 4th, but for me, I think my 4th is one of the sort of undisputed pioneers, not specifically of country as an overall genre, but of more the outlaw country side of things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm gutted I wasn't around to be when he was at his biggest. It's tough, but my fourth is Mr. Willie Nelson.
Brilliant, love that choice.
I mean, the guy's an icon. Like,
Yeah.
you can't go anywhere without every country artist has got some influence of Willie in there.
Yeah.
And I went to go and see. I went to Country by the Coast a couple of years ago, and there was a couple of the American artists over there from Texas, and one of them had his own merch, and it had "Having a Willie Good Time," and it was like the Willie Nelson silhouette on it. And again, I just think the guy is at the heart of what we call country music, and particularly outlaw country, which was like a massive movement back in the sort of 70s or so.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I guess that brings me to my fourth. And I do love the Willie Nelson choice. I can't believe you've not chosen my fourth in your lineup. And if he's not even in your seven, I will kick off. It was a legend who unfortunately lost recent. Toby Keith. How is Toby Keith not in your seven? Or in your four?
Well, I didn't say he wasn't in my seven, but he isn't in my seven.
How?
I'll be honest, that one I overlooked. I'll give you that. That would have maybe made an 8, but I mean, Toby Keith is top tier. I think the thing for me is I'm a big fan of Toby Keith, but I don't think, for my personal love of country, I don't think he's had the same impact that my fourth had there.
Right.
As far as like the stuff I've listened to, I mean, he's top tier. But for me personally, I don't think maybe as influential as others.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because other ones of my 7, I had Garth Brooks on there.
Right, yeah.
Because I think, again, for pure commercial impact, I had Waylon Jennings as well.
Okay, yeah. So you went quite old school with yours.
I love my old school country. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, I know mine were a little bit, but I mean, Toby Keith came round, debut single, Should Have Been a Cowboy, was 93, I believe.
Yeah.
But the man had 19 number one hits. Like, incredible. I mean, I think, going back to our D's one, I think Shania's only had like 7 or something.
I can see why he picked Shania, though, because I think commercially, what she's done for the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think if you go in classic country, but we don't know what RD's early influences looked like. You know,
true,
he's very much a performer, isn't he? And that's probably Shania as well. It might have been where he got some of his moves from.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Good debate, and I suppose as this pod goes out, we'd love to hear in your comments who your Mount Rushmore would be.
Absolutely.
Please try and keep it down to 4, because
not 7.
Not 7.
If anyone posts a 7 in the comments, it will not be appreciated.
Yeah, but
we'll
let us know.
Something. We'll draft up ours properly, and we'll ask your opinions. But let us know. Follow us on Instagram, Open Road Pod, and TikTok, same. Or just drop it in the comments of YouTube. Well, all our social links will be in the bios anyway for the show notes.
Yeah. So, to close out today, then I had the joys of giving my 2 for the road, because why follow the rules?
You can't manage 1.
However, I'm pretty sure you've got 1 for the road this week, have you, Joe?
I do. Yes. This out is the 1 for the road. Sticking with 1 moving forward, just because I cannot count. But anyway, we spoke a little bit earlier about White Flores' new album, and surprise, my 1 for the road is off of that album. This was the second single which came off that record. It's called Drive All Night. It's a really, really great song. It came to Wyatt when he was at writing camp, and he said to some camp, he's just like, look, is it alright if I leave early on our last day? Are we going to be busy? Because there's this girl that I really like. She's all the way in South Dakota. So basically, I'm going to drive 14 hours through the night to go and see her. And they were like, you're doing what? No, we have to write a song about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just mad. But it kind of takes me back. I mean, when me and Ash got together she was living up in Manchester and I was down in Buckinghamshire just outside Milton Keynes, and it wasn't quite 14 hours, but I was literally driving like home from hers at 2-3 o'clock in the morning to get back home and then to be on shift by like 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're like,
yeah,
hey, I drive all night,
I suppose it resonates quite well with you then, that
Yeah.
sort of song, because you've been through it yourself. Well, not
Absolutely,
to that
yeah.
level, but
Yeah.
the same idea.
Yeah, so go and have a listen to Drive All Night, check out Wyatt's new album. But yeah, if you're enjoying the pod, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Open Road Pod, or just have a little look in the show notes. We've got YouTube, so if you prefer to watch this rather than listen, go over to our YouTube channel again. You can just find us Open Road Pod on there. It's we're all on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, subscribe, leave comments, just engage with us, and hopefully you won't see people at Country Call In next weekend, but
No,
I will.
I'm sure we'll have discussion. And do you want to close us out today then, Joe, since I opened?
Yeah. So we will be back in 2 weeks. I think we've decided each new episode will be 2 weeks' time, and yeah, if you see us at Country Call In, come say hello. We'll try and get you some opinions on your thoughts about Country Call In, Long Road maybe as well. But just come and say hi. We're a friendly bunch, and we will be back for a brand new episode just before Long Road, I think.
Yeah. Well, we have been the Open Road Podcast with Joey and Si. Mr. Joey Reimer, thank you very much.
Cheers, Si. Thank you very much for joining me today, Mr. Sivens. Hopefully we'll see all your Everett content and Gary content come out very soon.
Yeah. No,
Perfect.
sounds good. Right.
Amazing.
Catch you later.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.